morning we woke up to fresh coffee with the eggs, 24 karat gold steak with the bread crumb. I mean, we've been eating for free all week and haven't seen a chef once.
Brian ended this round with loopy to reference the drowsy feeling from the lean he be using at times, right? So tonight, if we gonna talk about the legend of Sleepy Hollow, it's gotta start with a horseman losing his mind.
Louisiana baby. Or I can hit him with tear gas, leave Louisiana baby. And I'ma do it all by my lonely like Louisiana baby. And where they gonna find the body? In Louisiana baby.
Hello. Welcome back to the Speak Our Language Show. And today we have a special guest. We have Kid Chaos. How you doing?
What's up, bro? My bad. I was reading something. Screen. My bad. I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. We're on to a new year, 2024, in terms of battle rap was headed towards the right direction in comparison to 2023. I think 2023 you got a lot of great battles, but the energy was in a different place. But in 2024, I think the energy was in the right place, and I think 2025 is going to bring on even better things. So usually when I start off with these type of interviews, I usually try to start off with, just getting a little bit of background on the influences and whatnot of the battler. So the first question that I have is, who were some of your influences when it came to, you getting into battle rap and even in the rap music lane?
First for me was rap music. So it wasn't like a battler, before that, unless you want to count Eminem, because technically he did come from battle rap. But initially for me, it was a rapper from my city called Camouflage in Savannah, Georgia. So it was originally him that really introduced me to really liking rap. I listened to Tupac and stuff like that growing up because of my father, but wasn't like really pulled into hip hop until I heard Camouflage, and then the way that people responded to Camouflage was kind of like my thing. And from there, became fans of Lupe Fiasco, Eminem, Kanye West. Those are kind of like my early hip hop. T.I. as well. T.I. was a real big early influence for me for hip hop. But then, and after that, I stumbled across battle rap, and the first actual battle rapper I watched, like actual what the sport is now, Murder Mook was the first one. A guy came down from Ohio, because I lived in a small town in Georgia. And a guy moved down from Ohio and had a whole bunch of Smack DVDs. We had never heard of it. We didn't know what that was, nothing like that. I was probably like 13 at the time. And he dropped them on us and was like, yo, watch these. And I was like, okay, like watching the raps and everything, it was cool. But then the end, when the battles came on, I was like, yo, what's this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of what sparked the battle. And so from there, from like 13, I was just battling dudes in the neighborhood. I always had like 100 bars in my head ready to go whenever. Like, I was just on it at that point, from that point forward.
Okay, and you mentioned Georgia, and I think in one of your earlier interviews, I don't remember which one, but you talked about the move from Georgia to South Carolina. Do you want to talk a little bit about that transition? Because one of the first things I remember when you and Swamp came up is we from South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? That was a thing for you guys. That was a movement around the 2019, 2018 time period. So do you kind of want to touch on that a little bit?
I moved from Georgia when I was like 13. Moved to Georgia, started rapping, battling, all that stuff like that. And then went to prison in 2009. Yes, 2009, went to prison. Came home 2013. And when I came home, there was a guy I used to associate myself with who hit me up and was like, hey, yeah, whatever. This is like a fake nigga, but he was trying to make it seem like, he wanted to like be cool and all that shit like that. So I was like, all right, word. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, bro, I know you used to battle all that in high school. That used to be a thing, blah, blah, blah. Battle rap is like kind of advanced and changed a little bit. Yo, you got to watch these. So we sat down, we watched K-Shine versus DNA. We watched Loaded Lux versus Calico, and Murder Mook versus Iron Solomon. Basically, a lot of those battles from around that Summer Madness 2 kind of time. And it was just like, oh, shit, battle rap has like progressed. These dudes are rapping now. Like, this is crazy. So from there, I started getting in touch with like some people from around our area. Again, everywhere from where I was from, everybody kind of moved off me. Nobody was really doing the battling thing. But then when I came home and was like, yo, I'm trying to get back into battling, niggas was like, all right, let's get to it. You feel what I'm saying? They kind of followed my lead with that. And then when I got in there, I started battling a league called Barbarian Battle League, Barbarian Rap League. I'm tripping right now, but Barbarian Rap League, Marvelous is over in Gemstar. Shouts out to them. Put me onto that. So I started battling with them. Nunu came down and saw me battle a guy. And then that's how I got my first PG. And then that's back when Norbs was in front of the PGs. So I had my first PG with Norbs. I beat the guy, which ironically, I don't know if you paid attention to like the third Ultimate Madness, but there was the guy who not won it, but made it to the finals, MVP.
That was the fourth. That was the fourth one. Yeah. I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
MVP. That's who I had my first PG against. Like a lot of people don't know that. We bring that up a lot. My first PG was against MVP back in like 2016, 17, somewhere around there. It's my first PG. Beat him in that battle. But you know how PGs was back then. Like you had to have like a big name, a big following. And I was from South Carolina. I ain't have no cosigns, nothing like that. You feel what I'm saying? So it was just kind of like a whatever thing with me. Then I had another one probably 2 years later, 2017, 18. Another one under Norbs. I beat that guy again. And according, I guess, a Norbs line, I just wasn't what was going to work.
The one I remember, which you're probably going to go to next, was the Street Hymns band, and that was when you really, in my opinion, that's when you really came on this. Now I knew of you before then, but that was the one that really was like, okay, this guy has something here. That was the one that really stuck out.
Yeah, for sure. That was exactly what happened. That was literally exactly what happened. I kind of took a step back from battle rap for whatever reasons. And then after that, I messed around and I'm sorry, I just got a text message and threw me off a little bit. But anyway, after that, I from that second PG, I then like kind of took a step back and I didn't battle for like a year. And then there was a guy named Jay Prophecy from the area that just always ran his mouth and just, oh man, like Chaos need to come out. I beat him. Da, da, da. So I popped out and I beat him. And it was like, you know what? I kind of got the love back a little bit. Let me do another one. Then the next one, that's how I got put on to Body Bag Battle League. That Bills runs, shout out to Body Bag. That's the league I basically represent now as far as outside of the URL. So they hooked me up. I battled Tink the Demon, battled J Moore, and then I battled J Moore twice technically. And then after that, they was like, all right, yo, this a new dude named P. He's kind of handling PG stuff now. Heard about Street Hymns. He had a little name and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, like, this could be one to really show my ability against, because people know this guy and they don't really understand how busy I get. Not on a grand scheme. Like the people in the Carolinas, they knew everybody was like, yo, once Chaos get the opportunity to rap, like everybody kind of knew it. We were just all kind of waiting on that time to come. And then Street Hymns was an opportunity and I beat the dog shit out of him and shit. Went from there.
No, your third round against Street Hymns is one of my favorite rounds of yours. I thought the breakdown was great, and I think early on, especially in that time period, right, 2019, when the band series was really a thing, and it was a real movement, and it was like a movement for not just just the sake of it being banned, but also the new guys, right? Because that's when Swamp came along, and then Your Honor and all that, and that was kind of like the precursor to And one thing I wanted to mention before we get into actually. Your battle with Jay Krooger, do you want to talk about how that battle came about too? Because in my opinion, you versus Jay Krooger, which is also considered another PG battle, is a top 10 PG battle of all time. I put that in one of my videos because I really think that bar for bar wise, you're not going to find that many battles that measure up to what you and Jay Krooger brought. Do you want to talk about that battle a little bit?
Yeah, me and him talk about this from time to time. We don't talk a lot as much as I do with maybe some other battles I'm cool with. But when we do talk, we talk about how when we walked off stage, people were saying it was the best PG ever. Like when we walked off, like the crowd was like, bro, that's the bar. Like we've never seen two PGs go that crazy in a battle. Like P was like, bro, I think that's probably the best PG I've ever witnessed myself. Like P, when we walked off stage, P literally said, y'all two come upstairs. And he sat us down right then and was like, yeah, it's it for y'all. No more PGs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just gonna advance y'all along because what y'all just did, that was what we need to see, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it was just, again, after Street Hymns, and the ironic thing is, P didn't see me versus Street Hymns. He just heard about it. Because again, you know, battle rap is like kind of like politics and popularity and stuff like that. And I wasn't one of the big names. And Street Hymns was a name, but he had just lost to Lou Castro like a few months before that. So it's kind of like, yeah, Street Hymns is a name, but like we already feeling like he may not be a fit for URL type thing. So we not really sure about him. So it's like P wasn't paying that battle attention. But then everybody kept telling him, and this is out from him. He's like, bro, everybody, and Bills, the dude over body bag battle, that was the main one who really pushed it. Like, yo, you got to check this one out. So he heard it, and I thought that should have been it. Because remember, I had done 2 PGs before that already. So that was technically my 3rd PG. And so I was like, yeah, that should be it. And he was like, yeah, they want you to come back to another PG with Jay Krooger. I'm like, bro, I'm going to keep it real, bro. I'm going to do it. But I'm telling you, if y'all don't think you know what I'm saying, like y'all want to invest in me as far a part of y'all company after this, then that's a wrap. Don't hit me up no more, bro. It is what it is, bro. Like, because I know what I do, and I've been doing it too long and been too consistent and been too dominant for y'all niggas to keep playing with me like this. And then luckily, literally after Krooger, that was it. And Pete himself said if he would have saw Street Hymns, it probably would have been a wrap from there because he didn't see it live. He was like, he wanted to see it live himself and kind of get the feel, you know what I'm saying, blah, 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 pause if necessary. And so, yeah, so after that, you know, it was a wrap. And Jay Krooger already had like Holmesy and people like that speaking up for him. So that's how he got it. That was his first PG. So he got kind of lucky in the sense of he didn't have to do multiple PGs. He just pulled up at the right time against the right opponent where his PG mattered. You know what I'm saying? Because people will go and do a PG and it'd be crazy, but it just won't matter. He made sure, like you say, from what he did and then battling me at that time when the eyes were kind of on me and things like that, he took advantage, and we literally, in my opinion, is top 3 easy. Like top 3 easy PGs ever. As far as quality goes.
Yeah, bar for bar wise, like I said, you can't really find many bar for bar battles that measure up in the PG atmosphere. So now we go on to, you know, Ultimate Madness, right? Which, in my opinion, is one of the most monumental tournaments and one of the most monumental moments in battle rap, considering the circumstances, you know, COVID and whatnot. I do want to ask, when it came to the introduction, or not necessarily introduction, but the pitch of Ultimate Madness, do you remember what that pitch was like? Like, yo, we're about to do this tournament. You know, and on top of that, right, because obviously what the tournament was supposed to look like probably had to change tremendously because of the pandemic and whatnot. Can you talk about just how it was pitched and your experience kind of having to be one of the few people to battle during COVID at the time physically, because that was a thing too?
Yeah. It wasn't, they didn't have to change anything because the idea came after COVID. You know what I'm saying? COVID hit like early 2020 and the tournament started like April. Right when COVID hit, everything got shut down. That was right when they had inked their deal with Caffeine. So I don't know any inside details, but my assumption is they were like, okay, we just linked on with this company who's expecting us to have these big live streamed events, and now the world just shut down. How the fuck do we get around that? You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, oh, wait, we got all these new guys who we don't have to pay a lot of money to come and battle. And let's see how this do. Let's start the tournament. Let's make some interesting around. Again, this is my assumption of how it went. And then they hit me up. I was like, hey, tournament, 25,000 if you win. I was like, these niggas can't beat me. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. You know, because I was thinking about battle rap a certain way at that time that I don't think about it anymore. But in my mind, I was like, yeah, these niggas can't fuck with me. So yeah, let's do it. And I was with it. I was eager. I was excited. I was writing every day, just bars and bars and bars. Like, I had so much shit ready to go.
And then, obviously, you know, you were one of the favorites in the tournament, right? I think you, Ace, there was a little rumblings about Sick. You know, a couple people that caught on to Sick early said that he was going to be dangerous. Jada Nightwing was like the dark horse because people knew his potential and all that. And I say that to say, the class was stacked, honestly, truthfully. And in my opinion, when you talk about one of the best classes in if you want to say this decade, you guys have the best class of this decade. But outside
I
of
think there's
that,
only two classes that can compete with us. There's
that's
only in the history of battle rap, there's only two classes that can compete. And URL, there's only
yeah,
two classes that can compete with us,
and
and that's the JC
yeah.
John class, and then the T Top Chess Saga Briz that class. I feel like outside of that, there isn't a class.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say because, like, when I think of the other classes, right? You're mentioning the PG class in 2011. That was the first PG class. Then you're talking about UFF season 3 with the T Top, Briz, Prep, Saga, and those guys. But I do think that there's an argument that you guys are like either right in the mix of there or maybe best, maybe one of the classes if we're
Yeah.
talking about just skill set, you're talking about just how loaded it was. And then mind you, right, you guys were putting on in a time period where battle rap was like on on a deathbed to a degree because a lot of people were doing
It's
virtual battles.
It's
Yeah.
never been on that slippery of a slope. And again, it's not due to battle rap, it's just due to the things outside of battle rap's, control. But still, due to that, we carried and I think people forget this, and I tweeted about this a few years back. And I haven't talked about it because I don't really talk about battle rap as much on my page, but people forget we didn't just hold URL down. We held battle rap down. There was nothing in battle rap going on. King of the Dot, RBE. Nobody was doing nothing. The only thing going on was that tournament. And our class held down. And that's why I feel like I give us the edge. Because it's like there's no class that can say that. There's not a class in the history of battle rap that can say we kept battle rap afloat. Because the vets was not about to do the caffeine thing for the prices they were giving at first. Caffeine wasn't giving out the big bags at first because they were kind of just wanting to see what the viewership were going to be like, blah blah blah, whatever. So they're like, okay, if these big guys are not going to come down for the prices that we're giving these newer guys because they haven't established themselves yet, what are we going to do? Is like, well, we get these new guys, let's see where it goes. And we showed up from the face-offs to the shows that we did in between to the actual battles to the in-between battles that like me and Sick did, stuff like that. Like, we put on battle after battle after battle.
Nah, I mean, yeah, you guys did. And I think that the momentum after you kind of carried into your individual campaigns, right? Because each one of you guys, especially the top guys, I feel like Sick, Fonz, Lucastro, yourself, you guys not only held it down then, but then when you went outside of that and started battling some of the vets, you guys showed that it wasn't just a one-off thing. Like I think of you particularly after that, they kind of threw you to the wolves. I mean, they gave you JC on his return, quote unquote. They gave you Danger Zone in a small room, and you had the Saga to close out the year. What was that transition like, going from like battling some of your counterparts and then kind of transitioning into going against like the more seasoned veterans?
And it just felt like it was what I expected to happen. When you dealing with me, I'm obsessive. I'm always planning, I'm always plotting, I'm always thinking ahead. And so it didn't feel like, oh my God. It didn't feel like, oh my God, this is the next step that I've been waiting on to achieve. But it's not, it was like, all right, this is what I expected to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like they gave me a choice. They was like, rookies versus vets, you want Chilla or JC? And at the time, I felt like JC was the more dangerous one. I felt like JC was the one people would expect me to lose the most against. So that's the one I wanted to pick, and then, from there, Danger and Saga, and then it went on from there. And it was very consistent in my performances. And then people perceived them how they perceived them. But my quality never wavered those first like 10 battles. I was on it every battle.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to mention. I feel like 2021 and 2020 are kind of like, it feels like 1 year to me because there's like a consistent theme of you being consistent and having great battles. Even if people have different opinions about who won or who lost, it's like those 2 years in particular, I think of like just the great clashes you had against, the Danger Zones, the JCs. And then in 2021, even though you feel like you did a little bit of a misstep, because I think you mentioned it before, the Danny Myers battle, I even still think that you had a good performance in that. The 2-on-2 with you and Arsenal, I feel like that was a situation where, you guys were kind of predicted to lose because where's the continuity going to come from? And you guys showed out in that.
We were the biggest underdogs in the whole card. We were the biggest underdogs.
Yeah.
We were the biggest, they're going to lose out of everybody. And we had one of the more dominant performances out of everybody. And what's funny? Me and Ars, every time we bring this up, we always laugh. about how unintentionally synchronized we were. Bro, we didn't practice none of our movements. We only practice rapping. And it's just something about what we innately do when we're rapping. It lined up when we watched it back and was like, bro, it looked like we planned that. And we didn't. We just literally, he walked through and say something, and I say, and it's like, it looks like we plan to move and talk to them in certain ways, and we just only went over the raps. And we only went over the raps for the day before the battle and then the day of the battle. Because he lived in Orlando, I lived in South Carolina.
Yeah.
We linked up for one weekend and wrote all 3 rounds. One weekend, we linked up, wrote all 3 rounds. After that, what we did was send voice notes back and forth. And then we got somebody to edit our stuff together where we say it after each other, whatever. And then all we did was play it to ourselves. Played it on repeat. So I knew his stuff, he knew mine, because in the first round, I fucked up. And again, it was so seamless, people don't know it. I fucked up and he picked up on one of my parts. And then we got back on track. And in the second round, the literal same thing. He fucked up and forgot what he was supposed to say. And I picked up where he was at and we kept going. It was like everything worked out so well. And we did not practice as probably much as we should have, bro. Like we focus more on the writing than the rehearsal.
And that's sometimes that's how it works. Sometimes your best performances, because another story that you mentioned, I remember you said that you did the saga material so much to where you started to become doubtful that it was good, and then you went into the battle and you were like, oh yeah, nah, it's fire. So it happens like that sometimes.
God, if I could scroll all the way back, because I have a group chat with some guys who are really good writers, and I send it to them. I was like, bro, I was literally the day of the saga battle. I was outside, I was there by myself. Nobody came to the battle with me. Swamp came, but he didn't come with me. Like, he battled Swave that same day. So he had pulled up separately. So like he was there with me, but we didn't like pull up together. So I was just there outside talking to myself. And I remember I rehearsed my stuff with Jay the Nightwing. I just let him hear it. And Jay was like, oh, y'all gonna have a good battle. And to me, that hit my ear like, you're about to lose. I just don't want to tell you you're about to lose, right? So I texted my homeboy and all that shit. I'm like, bro, I don't think my material is as good as I thought it was, right? And my dog was like, bro, I don't know what you want right now, but the shit you let me hear for Saga is some of the best shit you ever come up with, bro. Don't go in there with that mindset, blah, blah, whatever. And then so, you know, like I'm never, even no matter how, regardless of how nervous I feel, you won't see it when I start rapping. Because I don't feel it once I start rapping. I'm nervous until they say it's on you, Chaos. Once they say it's on me and I get that first crowd reaction, oh, I'm good. I'm comfortable. I'm back in my vibe. But so yeah, that's basically how that played out. Like it was nervous at first, but then it was like, it is what it is. Like I'm gonna make it happen.
And like I said, I feel like 2020, 2021 go together perfect because you have a good mix of the veterans, right? You and Chess unknowingly became Battle of the Night with the headline being Rum Nitty and Hollow. I feel like that's a huge feat for you guys. Also think about you having, I don't like when they call it a home game, but you were in the Carolinas against Jada Nightwing, and that was a dope battle too. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a home game. They try to do that, but it's not really a home game.
Yeah, they always, because it's Carolina. It's like, I'm from South Carolina.
Right.
That's not where that is, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so good performance there. You and Chilla lived up to the hype, in my opinion, right? You guys put on a great show, closed out the year with Holmesy the God. But in my humble opinion, your best year in terms of you putting everything together from a battle to battle perspective is 2022. I feel like that was your best year in terms of material, in terms of having the layered writing, but also it being accessible to the audience as well too. And then it's just some of my favorite performances. I loved your performance against B-Dot, even though B-Dot kind of had the home cooking a little bit, but you had a good performance. I liked your performance against Emerson Kennedy, good performance against Shuni, the light works, right? A-Verb, First Lady Flames, but shit happens. I mean, that almost made my top 50 for the decade. It just barely missed it, but really loved that performance, the back and forth, your response to his crazy second round. I mean, tell me a little bit about your 2022 campaign and, what was your mindset then?
That was the year where I had for some reason, it was just so weird when it came to me in battle rap, me specifically, because I don't want to get into that. I could name so many of my contemporaries who was the same thing, but for some reason was so focused on me about being on a losing streak I would put on great performances, but because the app, I was battling, everybody was more popular than me. Everybody had a bigger fan base. So it's like, as long as they do well, I'm not gonna win on the app. Like, they have to mess up or have a like you know what I'm saying. As long as they do well, their fans are gonna vote for them. It's just how it goes. So going from, I think, how did that go? That was they counted Chilla as a L, Holmesy as a L.
Which Holmesy was 2 weeks later. I like the context, you know what I'm saying? So I like to contextualize that.
And to me, that doesn't even matter. I beat Holmesy. Like, I'm telling you, like, I feel like I'm not one of those battles who feel like no one. I'm not one of those battles who feel like if I watch a battle, I objectively look at it. Okay, I lost. There are two battles where I can see why people think I lost, and I don't argue with like too much. It's Danny and Jada Nightwing. Those are two battles where and Jada Nightwing, the building had me winning. Everybody in the building that night was like, yeah, I got Chaos edging that 2-1. That's what everybody was saying. But even me, when I went back and watched it before the votes came out and shit, I was like, ugh, he broke me down a little bit better than I broke him down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just had to keep it real. But now Jay knows this, and I haven't like publicly talked about this a lot. I wrote for Jay for like 4 days. That was in a very weird spot for me. I was going through some stuff, and I literally called Bills, the guy who got me my second PG, and I called him, was like, bro, tell URL and them I can't do the battle. He was like, what? I was like, bro, I can't come up with nothing. Like, I got too much going on, this and this. Every day I'm waking up feeling like this. I just can't write right now. And he said something to me that got me kind of a little bit sparked a little bit. He was like, all right, I'm gonna just hang up and just talk to you later, because the chaos I know wouldn't say no shit like this to me, so I'm holler at you later. And hung up in my face. And for one, I'm a big dude on respect for shit like that. Like, I don't really like shit like that. So at first I was a little upset, like, but who you playing with? But then, like, I kind of let it like fuel me a little bit, and I wrote like all 3 rounds that night. Like, I stayed up, like, and I just wrote, like, you know what I'm saying, for like a day or two, just wrote, and I was like, all right, and then got it together. But like I said, it was just because all those battles, like I said, those battles led up to people like, oh, he's on this losing streak. So I was like, all right, let me just go out this year. And this is the sad part. This is honestly, thinking of things like this is what made me start taking a step back from battle rap. Because I was like, let me stop writing things that I enjoy. Let me start writing things I think people will enjoy. Then I started winning. And then my wins stopped meaning shit to me. The wins stopped mattering. Because it was like, I'm not impressed with this material. I flipped her name. Oh, like, that's nothing about that is creative, but that's what battle rappers think is creative. That you flip somebody's name. The character breakdowns, like really is what happened with Danny. When I battled Danny and I went about the structure of that battle as if it was a 3-act play and broke down each act as if it was something different, put so much thought into that. And niggas was like, K-squeeze, brain freeze, everything came out slush and lose their minds. I was like, all right. So stop trying. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to be as creative with your penmanship. Just write shit people gonna like. And that's what started taking away from my love for battle rap. It's just like, it's not about creativity like I thought it was. When Lux would come out and do this super creative performances and these grand showcasings with the outfits and shit. And it's like, oh, the creativity, is cared about so much. And it's like, that is not where the culture is anymore. Niggas want to get you up there 1, 2, 3 punchline. That's what they want you to do. And for the most part, now certain people they give certain leeway to, but for the most part, that's what they look for. So that year that you're talking about, I can see why people like that as a great year for me. I think that was another year I made the top 20 list.
Yes.
But that was the year I was the most dissatisfied with. The EK battle, this Flames battle, especially the Verb battle, all those battles, just like I'm writing what I think people will like. This, not all of it, but a lot of this shit isn't impressing me. But I'm writing what I think people will like. Sheed was the battle where I kind of tap back into what makes me happy, because I'm cool with Sheed, like, and I respect him a lot and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, I'm gonna have fun with this, because I feel like he's gonna have fun with this, so let's have fun with this. And then I think that's why you got the performance you got. But those are the performances I give when I'm being what I want to be. You know, I mean, then otherwise you get, and you may be like, what? But then otherwise you get a chess battle. People think that's one of my best performances. That was some shit I wrote in a day. I was literally driving to go pick up my kids in Florida, and I was driving down. I wrote the first round for chess as I was driving. I was like, think of some cool punchlines. It wasn't like really trying to be creative because I'm like, okay, I just came off the Danny battle. Then I just came off the 2-on-2, so I kind of see how people want things like set up. So let me just go with that. And then I have that first round, and people think it's one of the best rounds I've ever had. I'm like, my first round for Danny is light years better than this, but y'all like it, so it is what it is. Now, don't get me wrong though. Towards the end of my chess round, I do have some shit that I do love. I'm not gonna lie, like that, like the Divine. See, I spin it back like that. I love that line. When I came up with that, that was a line I would have wrote no matter what. But for the most part, it was like they wanted me to do a lot of chess flips. Okay, that's why I did though. That's why I started off the first round. And like for the first 30, 45 seconds, I'm doing all them chess flips. Like they want name flips. He's gonna do a lot of kid flips. I'm gonna do some chess flips. Bro, it took me like 15 minutes to come up with this shit. Like this is not creative, but I know they're gonna like it. So fuck it. It's creative, but it's not.
It's not to your It's not to your standard. It's not
to be again for me. What I like from myself is not that standard.
Right.
You know, I really like what I did like against Saga, stuff like that. Like those breakdowns with the bars and then the creativity, the humor, and everything kind of put together in one. That's what I like. I don't like the just 1, 2, 3 punch, 1, 2, 3 punch, 1, 2, 3 punch, name flip, name flip, name flip. It's just it's repetitive and it's so easy to do. I don't know, but that's. I ramble for a bit, but that's how.
No, you're good. It's damn near disheartening because I'm like, dang. So in the year that was probably one of his better years, you know what I'm saying? That was when he kind of started to lose his passion because he was trying to like assimilate, if you will, to what people like. But it's still a great year.
It wasn't even just that. To keep it real, these are things I like you're getting exclusive shit because these are things I never said when I was really trying to still make it in battle rap. So I kind of kept things close to the vest. I don't care. Like I turned down battles like Euros hit me up twice in like the last 4 months, and it's like I'll let you know. Or if the bag is this, I'll let you know. Like you know what I'm saying? I haven't been really caring too much because of the fact that and I'll probably push this back another 10 minutes, then I gotta slide. But it's just been like I just got to do what I feel is right for me. So it was like I'm just gonna do whatever is good for me because in the years that I should have gotten certain looks, I didn't. I was the guy. I was all the votes. You can literally, this is not me talking. Look at all the polls, all the fan votes, anything from that time, 2020, 2021. I was top 3 in my class. Never got a headline. Lou Castro did. Sick did. Easy. Everybody was getting opportunities to be looked at as the guy.
Jada Nightwing got twerk on the return for sure. Yeah.
I was always the card filler. I was always the guy that's on the card. One of the most anticipated battles, usually one of the best performances of the night. Again, at that time, I checked all the boxes. They just would always give those opportunities to other people. So the fans not being receptive to what I was trying to do, along with URL not giving me, again, not that they didn't give me battles, they gave me battles, but that's a different thing than every card. Look at all those battles they gave me at that time. I'm literally at the bottom of the card on every battle. But yeah, you literally look at that time, all of my battles. Again, when I'm the guy, when you look at the top 20 from my first year, when they did it, I think the only 2 people from my class ahead of me, I think were Fonz and Easy. I think we're ahead, and then it was me, then it was Sick, and I think we were the only 4 from the class in the top 20 of, champion list. But again, all those people got headlines and big opportunities and stuff like that. Me, and then you think when Gnome came around, it's supposed to be our class on Gnome. Who's the one guy not on the Gnome?
Yeah.
Chaos. 6, Lou Castro, Jada Nightwing, all of them are on the Gnome. Fonz. Kid Chaos is not. And again, he was ranked by the fans and media as the 3rd hottest one, but he's the one not on it. And it was just like a lot of things just didn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, is it because I don't have like no cosigns and I'm kind of like got no team or nothing like that? Like I can't help that. Like, I can't help that veterans aren't like speaking up for me, or I don't join one of these cliques that hit me up, because damn near every popular clique in battle rap when I was hot hollered at me to join, and I was like, I'm good, because to me, if I join, I'm a very loyal person. So if I'm rocking with you, I'm rocking with you like you my family. Like, nah, I fucks with you. And I realize these niggas ain't got loyalty like that. These niggas are, as long as you popular and as long as I can benefit from you, we solid. The moment that's not the case, we ain't gonna communicate the same. I ain't gonna support what you do the same. And I saw it before it even happened to me. I saw it. And it was like, yeah, I'm good. I'd rather just rise and fall on my own than to rely on y'all and then y'all let me down. You know what I mean? So it's just like a lot of things around that year just kind of helped me open up to like maybe battle rap just isn't my thing. As far as not skill wise, but just what it takes outside of the skill set to be successful. I don't think I'm willing to make that compromise. And then went from there.
Damn. Well, man, again, disheartening because you're very talented. You know, you do a great work. You know what I'm saying? I actually had the privilege of meeting you after Summer Madness 12. You know, after Swamp had his legendary performance against Tay Rock. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And it was a dope experience. But we're actually on our last segment here. We got a couple minutes left, but this is something I call it the flower segment, where I just kind of go through your accolades and we close out the show. So when we talk about Kid Chaos, we talk about one of the best battles of the decade with Chess, top 10 PG with Jay Krooger, one of the best rounds in caffeine history with your first round against Sick, 2 Cody appearances, right? And you mentioned you were the third hottest in 2020. Your class helped battle rap progress and advance during a time period where we didn't know that could happen. And your resume includes Danger Zone, JC, Chilla Jones, Real Deal, Shuni the Rapper, C3, Danny Myers, Mike P, B. Real Sick, Chef Trez, O-Red, Loso, and Chess. Now, you kind of alluded to the fact that you're starting to kind of have a somewhat of an epiphany that, you know, battle rap may not necessarily be a thing that you're striving to be the best in anymore. And I kind of see that with you kind of going into your content creation, movie reviews and whatnot, you know. So is there anything else in battle rap you want to accomplish before you completely cross over into that?
Nah, battle rap is money for me now. That's all it is. It's not again, what battle rap has become, and it's so wild. Because you know I was the last battle for B-Dot.
Yes.
B-Dot told me. He told me I would feel this way. B-Dot told me then I would feel it because if you look, that day after that, B-Dot and Emerson Kennedy had a podcast and they invited me on to do an interview. This is the day after me and B-Dot battled. And before, we were just talking, just chopping it up. And B-Dot literally said that. He's like, yeah, this is how I'm feeling. And he was like, bro, I don't know you that well, but judging off of how our conversations, bro, and how you talk, how you carry yourself, bro, battle rap is not gonna be it for you anymore, bro. He's like, you would. And he said this. If you look back when DNA interviewed him and Real Sick before our 2-on-2, this is when he was my opponent. Now he literally says he's like, Chaos would never be respected in battle rap the way he should. He's like, he never would be respected in battle rap the way he should. And he told me that he said that then, and I kind of let it go on one end out the other. And then after we spoke, after the interview thing, after our battle, he kind of said it again, let it go. I'm telling you, like a year later, I was like, God damn, that nigga was right.